Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. I hope you guys can hear me. It looked like the camera is doing some weird stuff. We're having a storm here. So I'm hoping that you guys can see me, you can hear me, and that this video is clear. Yeah, we're having rainstorm at the moment. But thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I'm so grateful that these messages are helping you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And I think, guys, hopefully you can hear me because I'm concerned about that. But anyway, um, the topic of discussion today is healing and helping others. As you get on this journey to heal and help yourself and go through everything you need to go through, it's important to give back. But before we get into that, let me remind everyone that I am not a therapist, a social worker, or a counselor. I'm just someone who went through a lot of pain, a lot of grief, excuse me, guys, a lot of pain, grief, and just an overwhelming amount. And I didn't think I was going to make it until I reached out to God, and God gave me the strength to do so. And I talk about ways that I've gotten through and overcame all these problems and obstacles that was in my way. And I share those things here because anyone who's going through challenges um, that are similar to the ones I described that I went through, perhaps what I'm sharing will resonate with you. And perhaps you can take some information on how I got through these things, and maybe it can help you with your own situation. So, guys, with that being said, um, thank you, all my subscribers and new subscribers. Welcome. Know that we're here to build up because in this world today, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that's going on a toxic. And what I can say about that, we definitely in this world know how to do toxicity. You know, it seems like some people have an expertise in drama and toxic situations and circumstances. But here on this channel, we're here to heal and to talk about it and then to help others by paying it forward, by sharing our stories, and that's what I do here. I share how I overcame these problems and obstacles. And one of the things, if anyone hasn't, who's here for the first time, you'll hear me talk about a lot. That people, situation, and circumstances come into our lives for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And in my case, a lot of these things were unlearned lessons. Now, if they're unlearned lessons, they're going to repeat themselves in your life. Different characters, but same scenario, repeating itself over and over until we actually learn those lessons. One of the things about when these things repeat itself, each time it comes back because of an unlearned lesson, the next time is worse than ever. And that's what I figured out. And I've learned these lessons so that I don't have to repeat them. And as you learn those lessons, you close the doors and then you move forward. And as I started to do therapy, because that was my first source, therapy, and as I learned things and started to take care of myself and do the work to heal, I realized that the toxic situations were coming over and over, and narcissistic individuals, they were showing up over and over because I wasn't learning the lessons from the time before. But once I learned them and cut off, block, and delete, first I set strong boundaries, which is so important. And after I did that, if the boundaries were disrespected, then I would cut off, block, and delete. So what I do, I took this pain and turn it into power into a purpose to help other people. Because I know that if I can get through it alone without a support system, only with the help of God, and just therapy, prayer, meditation, and just the key factor is to persevere through these things, not to allow yourself to be stuck in these situations. When you build up others, even if you are going through difficult times and you stop and build somebody else up, it also helps you as well. It helps your life. And it takes a lot of integrity, strength, and courage to move forward, not to just help others, but to tell your story. I wear my scars and I don't have no shame to it, because if it wasn't for those circumstances and things that happened to me, even though it was really horrific, I wouldn't be the Lisa I am today. Those things built me up and let me see life from a different mindset and perspective. Because when you have a broken mindset, or you have a what is like what's the word I want to use here about mindset? When your mindset is programmed to believe certain things, programmed like a computer, and you see life, not from your own perspective, but from a perspective that you were programmed to be. And I had to reprogram myself, my mindset, and see things from a different perspective. And that was when I did that, that's when I was able to heal, looking at life from a different perspective. If something looks not so good over here, then I have to go and try to fix it over here. One of the things that I learned with these lessons is to look at things from a different perspective. We know with toxicity and drama and all people who love to do all those things, we can't change them. But what I could do is change how I respond to it. Because when someone gets you to behave out of character because they are a drama starter and they love gossip, lies, all of the toxic stuff, um, and they try to get you to act out of character and you do so, now they took your power from you. They weaken you, because they got you to engage in a toxicity. And I had to look at that very carefully. And what I did is change the way that I behave to it. When someone does all these different things, what I've learned with dealing with narcissism and narcissistic people and people who love drama and toxicity is that they love attention, even though it's negative, but it's attention. So the best medicine that I give to that is my total 1,000,000% silence. I don't engage in it. And if people want to believe the lies and so forth and etc., that's on them. Because for me, when someone tells me something negative about a person, a situation, or whatever, I'm going to research and see what it is. I'm not going to just take somebody's word. I'm going to research and see what the truth is. And if a person don't take the time to do that, then that's on them. I changed my behavior to just, because I used to worry about people believing these malicious lies and et cetera, and how it affect me. What I do now is go into prayer with God about those things. And I stay focused on my path and purpose, on my healing. If people want to believe lies that other people tell them without researching, et cetera, so let them stay in that energy. I'm over here healing, because what I've also learned is that the truth will reveal itself. Because anything that people are saying about you and it's hurtful and it's untrue, the truth will always surface. In many cases, when they telling these malicious lies, they're actually telling their own narrative, their own story. But they're putting you in it as a character, and you don't belong in that story. So with individuals like this, I usually set strong boundaries. And then after I set those strong boundaries, if it continues, I just cut off, block, and delete. It's painful, but it's a painful lesson, because once you learn it, it's just like putting your hand on a fire and thinking you're not going to get burned. And once you get burned by that fire, you're not going to touch that hot stove anymore. Learning lessons and moving forward. And because of the lessons and all of these things I've gone through, I've learned to do things differently, things that are for my highest good. I'm self-disciplined. I look at life differently instead of, feeling sorry for myself. I build myself up and I look at things from a different perspective. Most importantly, I don't allow people to drag me into their drama and toxicity. It's easy sometimes to get upset when people come at you with negativity and being a drama starter. And then I just let it go with my silence, because they can't drag you into something if you don't participate, right, guys? If you don't participate in it, how can they drag you into it? So it's so important for me to just give my silence. I may give a look and keep going, because sometimes you have to be around people who are toxic, due to, you know, business matters, et cetera, so forth. And I just don't get drawn into it, and I stay in prayer and meditation, especially to keep my vibrations high. You want to be around positive things, and there are positive people in the world, loving people, better situations, so when those doors close, know that when you go to God asking him to keep helping you, God will open up new doors, better situations, people who really are going to support you and uplift you, so even when you feel yourself getting discouraged, continue to persevere, because at first it's going to seem hard, but then as you continue to do the work, you're going to start to see the results slowly. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. But as you help others, as you're going through this and you're helping yourself, it helps you as well to keep moving forward. And that's the key factor, especially in this world today with all these uncertainties and negative things that's going on. We are to build one another up. Once we build another person up, that person gets, renewed, and they go and build somebody else up. And when people hear your stories, what you've gone through, and that you've overcame these problems and circumstances, um, it motivates them that they can do it as well. Because if I can do these things, guys, with no support system, but God, when I say but God, no physical support system where I can go to somebody except for a therapist, and I was able to overcome, you guys can do it too. One day at a time, one step at a time. Just never give up on yourself. Always put your mental and physical first, your mental physical health, and continue to give yourself time to yourself on a daily basis. Make time for yourself to do the things that keep your spirit up. And when you feel, don't allow yourself to be drawn into a lot of toxicity, because that will bring down your vibrations and mood. Just take one day at a time, and keep going. Never give up, and when you take back your power, you can learn to turn that power, take back your power from others. You can turn that power into a purpose where you're helping yourself and helping others, and that's how you win. That's how we win here. When we remove toxicity and we continue to do so and set strong boundaries, then we can embrace peace. We can heal and embrace the peace, that inner peace, where you're unbothered by things that people are doing, on a toxic level. So, guys, continue to move forward and take care of yourself. And I promise you, as you do this, baby steps, you will see the results that you desire. And you will be happy that you made the decision to heal and move forward. That's the message today, guys. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload a video. It depends on what's going on with the storm. But if I'm not able to come on live, then I'm going to upload a video and put it on for tomorrow. But you guys stay encouraged, okay, and stay uplifted. And that's the message again. This is Lisa shedding love and light, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If anyone is experiencing this storm, be careful out there and be safe. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye for now.